Before going to the topic of today, we have to be just take a review what we have discussed yesterday. So we have discussed yesterday related to the construction of the N-channel enhancement type MOSFET, as well as we have also seen the operation of the MOSFET. Now today we have to be learn about the ideal enhancement type MOSFET current voltage characteristic for N-channel device. And actually we have started this topic yesterday, so I'll just take a quick review. Here we have discussed about the threshold voltage. We have defined the threshold voltage, that is the minimum gate to source voltage required to turn on the transistor. And we have also seen this structure as well, the relationship between the gate to source voltage and threshold voltage, and the conditions of gate to source voltage related to threshold voltage so that your transistor would be turned on or turn off. So as we have already seen, if the VGS is less than threshold voltage, either there is a positive drain to source voltage, the inversion region would be absent, and due to that the current would be not flow across the channel. But if you would be increase the VGS in positive direction and increase it more than the threshold voltage, then you would be see inversion region would be created below the oxide layer and above the substrate, and that would be form a channel, and that is a N channel because it is made of electrons. And when the VGS would be increased or more than the threshold voltage and there is a small amount of positive drain to source voltage, through this inversion layer a small amount of current would be flow from drain to source side. The flow of electron is from the source to drain, and the current would be flow from drain to source side. Okay, so up to this point we have learned yesterday. Now we have to move further and see what is the graphical representation of the drain current versus drain to source voltage. And here the deciding parameter is gate to source voltage. Okay. So as the MOSFET is a voltage dependent device, here gate to source voltage would be control the all operation of MOSFET. Now if you have to be see this particular plot ID versus VDS, here it is very much clear when VGS is less than threshold voltage, either whatever the value of VDS, your drain current is 0. But as you increase the value of VGS and it is more than the threshold voltage, so you would be get a positive drain current, and this current is having the linear relationship with respect to the drain to source voltage. And as you increase the VGS more, in the third case where VGS2 is greater than the VGS1, you would be get more drain current for the same value of the VDS. This is the relationship between the drain current and the drain to source voltage, and the controlling parameter is here gate to source voltage. So these three straight line would be show the relationship between the drain current and the drain to source voltage. Now we move further. What actually is going on? So in this particular slide, you have to be see in the left side, there is a two diagrams are there. One is for the diagram of the MOSFET, another is the corresponding graph for them. Now if you have to be see that in this case, you have to see as the VGS is greater than VTN, means threshold voltage, and there is a positive VDS is there, so there is a uniform channel would be formed below the oxide layer. Okay, and this uniform channel would be responsible for the flow of the current, that is the drain current. You can see here in this particular area below the oxide layer, this channel, a uniform drain current, linear drain current is flowing. As the VDS is increases, your drain current is also increases for the value of VGS greater than the threshold voltage. This is the only condition we have required, and you have to be find out the linear relationship between the drain current to the drain to source voltage. Okay. Now we have to see further. Now we are going to increase the VGS is kept constant, that is VGS is greater than threshold voltage, but now we are going to increase the VDS. In this slide you can see we are increasing the VDS here. As keeping the VGS constant greater than the threshold voltage and increasing the VDS slowly, what happens? The voltage drop across this particular oxide layer. Voltage drop across this oxide layer near the drain terminal. Near the drain terminal. We are mainly concentrated on this here. Near the drain terminal. So as the drain voltage increases, voltage drop across the oxide near the drain terminal decreases, which means induced inversion charge density near the drain also decreases. So what voltage drop across the oxide near the drain terminal? This is the voltage VGS minus VDS. Means VGD would be decreased, and due to decrease of this, the inversion charge region near the drain also decrease. And when the inversion charge region near the drain decreases, the incremental conductance of the channel at the drain terminal then decreases, and which would be responsible for decrease in the slope of the ID versus VDS curve. In the graph also you can see the when your VDS having the very small value, your ID is linear related to the VDS. But as the VDS is increases, the slope would be start to decrease. It would be start to bending. Okay. Now we have to be further increase the VDS and see what happens. As you further increase the VDS, in the previous case your VDS is less than the saturated voltage VDS sat. Now we have to be increase the VDS up to the level where VDS is equal to VDS sat. Then what happens? Because of this input, you would be see the channel near the drain, it would be decreased and it would be end up to one single point. Means the width of the channel would be decreased near the drain region, but the width of the channel would be same near the source region, because we are not changing any source voltage. We are only varying the drain voltage. So because of this, what happens? The difference of voltage between the VGS and VDS, VGS minus VDS, that is VGD actually, across the oxide would be become equal to threshold voltage. So this is a point that is called the saturation point. Okay, and this is equal to the threshold voltage. So induced inversion charge density at this particular drain terminal would be become 0. That's why here only one single point has been shown on the diagram. The channel has been narrowed and narrowed, and it would be end to one point only, because here VGD is equal to VTN and charge density is equal to 0. So this is the condition you can also observe in the graph. Here ID would be linearly increasing, and as you increase the VDS, it would be slope would be start to decrease, and this is the point that is called the saturation voltage, VDS sat, where your charge density become equal to 0. So this is the point where your drain current would be stopped to increase. Now drain current would be remains on the constant value. So what happens? We have to be see further when you would be more increase the drain to source voltage, means when your VDS is greater than the VDS sat. So see in the next point, as we have to be see that the conductance at the drain is 0, which means the slope of the ID versus VDS is 0. That's why it would be become parallel to the x-axis. So we can write a relationship between gate to source voltage and drain to source voltage, that is VGS minus VDS sat, it is equal to threshold voltage. This is the one equation, or you can also define it as VDS sat is equal to VGS minus VTS. So both the relationship is valid. You can use it for solving the numerical. Now, when the VDS is drain to source voltage that produces the zero inversion charge density, it is the VDS. Now we have to see what happens when VDS would be larger than the VDS sat. If we would further increase the VDS greater than the saturation voltage, at that point in the channel, what happens? Inversion charge is just 0 and move towards the source terminal. And in this case, electrons enter into the channel at the source, travel through the channel toward the drain, and then at a point where the charge goes to 0, this electronic charge would be injected into the space charge region, and where they swept by the electric field through the drain contact. How this happens? We have to be seen the next slide through the diagram. See this. In this diagram, it is very much clear what we have said. As you would be start to increase the VDS greater than the VDS sat, your channel near to the drain terminal would be become 0. The width of the channel is 0 here. There is no channel is physically present near the drain terminal. And this, as you increase the VDS more and more, your channel would be narrowed down, and it is going away from the drain terminal, and it is moving toward the source side. This is the point. Okay, but the channel depth is same across the source terminal because we have not changed any source voltage, but the width of the channel or the length of the channel actually this would be decreased. This is also called the channel length modulation effect. So in this case, now the question arises that is there drain current would become 0 or it would be remains present? So the answer is drain current would not become 0. It would be remain present in the transistor. And what is the value of the drain current? It would be become now constant. Whatever the value of the drain current at the saturation point, on this same value drain current would be maintained. It neither increase neither decrease. So how it is possible? We have seen in the previous slide already. As the channel would be ended much before the drain ends, so there is a one electric field would be applied because there is a positive drain to source voltage. So electric field would be applied to this particular channel, and because of this applied electric field, what happens? Whatever the electrons at this channel, this would be swept away or jump to the, you can say, or so actually not jump, it is swept to the drain terminal. Okay, and because of this operation, the current would be continue at the constant level. It not become 0. It would be remains present. Okay. Now we have to be understand this concept with the help of this graph also. We have to be see. This is the point we have already discussed previous slide. Now, according to this situation, when VDS is greater than saturation voltage, your drain current would be become constant. Okay, so here you can see drain current would be become constant and it is parallel to the x-axis. X-axis is the drain to source voltage. So how much value of the drain to source voltage would be increased? It does not make any change in the value of the drain current. It would be remains constant. And this particular reason, when the drain to source voltage is larger than the drain to source sat VDS sat, this is called as the saturation region. And this is the reason where your MOSFET would be act as an amplifier. We know that MOSFET would be having two operations, either it would be work as a switch or either it would be work as an amplifier. So in the saturation region, it would be act as an amplifier. And before the saturation region, that is called the non-saturation actually. So here it would be act as a switch. Now we have to see mathematical relationship of the current in the saturation region and in the non-saturation. So region where your VDS is less than VDS sat, this is the region. It is called as non-saturation region or triode region. Okay, both the name is popular in the literature. So we have seen till the ideal current voltage characteristics of the MOSFET. So though according to this characteristics, the relationship of the current in the non-saturation or triode region is equal to ID is equal to Kn twice of VGS minus VTN multiplied by the VDS minus VDS square. So this is the relationship where you can see that ID is non-really related with the VDS because of with this VDS square. Now what is the current value in the saturation region? We have to see also the value. ID is equal to Kn VGS minus VTN whole square. Here also you can see it would be follow a square law. Okay, so this is the two important current equations that would be required all over where we have to be learn the application of the MOSFET or there is a numerical come based on this topic. You have to be remember these two formula. Now what are the important elements in this particular formula we have to be see. Before that we have to be go through this particular graph. This is the family of ID versus VDS curve for n channel enhancement type MOSFET. And this is actually called as the ideal IV characteristics of n channel enhancement type MOSFET. So whenever the question would become as you have to be draw the IV characteristics of the n channel enhancement type MOSFET, you have to be draw this diagram. And through this diagram we can understand the operation of the n channel enhancement type MOSFET. It is very much clear here. So in the y-axis we always plot a current, in the x-axis we always plot a voltage. So here the current is the ID and the voltage is the VDS. This is the output voltage and this is the output current actually. Now if you have to see here, for a particular there is a different value of the VGS are used. First is VGS1. For the VGS1, this is the curve. This is the relationship between the ID versus VDS. For as you increase the VGS, your current value would be increases. So it would be increased. Now you can see the current has been increased now because VGS2 is larger than the VGS1. As you further increase the VGS, where VGS3 is greater than the VGS2, further your current would be increased. As you further increase, as you increase the VGS, your current drain current would be increasing and increasing. Okay. So what this means? This means that your drain current would be solely depend upon the value of the gate to source voltage. As the gate to source voltage increases, your drain current increases. Okay, that would be clear from this family of curves. Now we have to be also define the regions of operation. You can see for every value of the VGS, either VGS1, VGS2, or VGS3, VGS4, VGS5, there is some area where your ID is linearly increasing, and it would be increasing till the saturation point. It would be not achieve the saturation point. It would be remains. It would be still increasing. So this is the saturation point for each value of VGS. Means for VGS5 it is, this is the saturation point. For VGS4 it is the saturation point, like this. This is also called the transition point also, where your MOSFET would be enter from non-saturation region to the saturation region. You can, it is very much clear from this the graph. Before this particular left hand of this particular transition point, the region of operation is called the non-saturation region, where your drain to source voltage is less than VDS sat. And this is the transition point where your VDS sat is equal to VGS minus VTN. And if you would be increase the VDS more than this for a particular value of the VGS, then the transistor would be enter into the saturation region. And in the saturation region, drain current is constant. Whatever the value of VDS you would be see here, your drain current remains constant. It doesn't matter that what actually the value of VDS after the saturation point. So this is the actual relationship for the ideal. This is the ideal IV characteristic. Practically, it is little bit different. Practically, in the saturation region, the current would be not remains constant. It would be little bit increasing. So the slope of ID versus VDS would be having some value, positive value. But in this case, the slope is 0. In ideal relationship, slope is 0. Here you can see here slope is 0. But for the practical case, there is some slope is present. Okay, means your ID would be not actually 0. It would be little bit slowly increasing till the breakdown region. So this is the relationship between the ID versus VDS that we have learned from this graph. This graph is very much important. So all of you are requested to draw this graph. Okay. Now we have to move further and see what are the important elements in the formula of the drain current. That we have seen the formula in the saturation region. ID is equal to capital Kn VGS minus VDS, VGS minus V whole square. So what is the Kn? We have to be defined in the next slide. That is, Kn is nothing but it is a conduction parameter. So we have to see this. In the saturation region, since the ideal drain current is independent of drain to source voltage, that is very much clear from the formula also. ID is equal to Kn VGS minus VTN. In the formula, there is no any variable like VDS. Means ID is independent of drain to source voltage, and that is very much clear from the graph as well. So the incremental or small signal resistance is infinite. So what is the incremental or small signal resistance? R0 is equal to change in drain to source voltage upon change in drain current for the constant value of VGS, and that is equal to infinite for ideal MOSFET. Practically, it is some positive value, very high value but positive. You can see again from the graph how this slope is 0 and how the value of the small signal resistance is infinite. So see, in this case, if you want to draw a slope for any value of the VGS, here we have mentioned in the formula VGS is constant. So suppose we have to take the VGS value is VGS4 like this. Okay. So what is the formula of the drain resistance? Change in the drain to source voltage. So suppose this is your VDS 2 and this is your point where VDS is VDS 1. So we have to be find out delta VDS means delta VDS2 minus VDS1 upon delta ID. So if you have to be seen in this particular region, there is only one value of ID is possible. There is not a possible of changing the difference of ID because this is the flat curve. This is parallel to the x-axis. So here delta ID is equal what? Delta ID, it is equal to what? Can anyone tell me from your side? What is the value of delta ID here? For this particular reason, delta ID is equal to what? Anyone? What is the value of delta ID? Anyone tell me? Akansha More? What is the value of ID? Akansha More? Abhishek Dacker? No response is coming. I have unmuted all. Please respond. Okay, see. As the curve is flat and there is no possibility of any slope of ID, so the delta of ID, change of ID is equal to here 0. So as for the formula of R naught, as ID is 0, so your R naught becomes infinite. The small signal resistance is infinite here. Now see the what is the meaning of the Kn in the formula of the current. Kn is nothing but it is called the transconductance parameter or conduction parameters for n channel device. The formula of Kn is mu n Cox W by twice of L. So what is mu n is here? Mu n is called as the mobility of the electron. What is Cox is here? This is oxide capacitance per unit area, and W is the width of the channel, L is the length of the channel. So you can see as per the formula of the Kn, that is called the transconductance parameter, mu n Cox W by twice of L. So your transconductance parameter is combination of two types of parameters. One is electrical, another is the geometrical. Okay. Now we have to be see one of the another important term is Cox, that is in the formula of Kn. So Cox is what? Oxide capacitance per unit area, and it is equal to epsilon naught x upon Tox, that is the oxide permittivity upon thickness of the oxide layer. Okay. Okay. So in this case, what is the oxide permittivity? The value of oxide permittivity is 3.9 into 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 14 farad per centimeter. So oxide permittivity having is equal to, can anyone tell me the formula of the oxide permittivity? Epsilon naught Ox. Why this value has come 3.9 into 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 14? Epsilon naught x is equal to what? It is epsilon naught into epsilon r. Permittivity of the free space, that is 3.9, and permittivity, relative permittivity is 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 14 farad per centimeter. So when you multiply both of them, it would become the permittivity of the silicon device, silicon dioxide. Now the parameter mu n, what is it? Is mobility of the electrons, because it is an n-channel MOSFET. And another parameter are the geometrical parameters, actually W and L. So conduction parameter is a combination of electrical and geometrical parameters. Okay. Now, what are the electrical terms are here? So carrier mobility, that is mu n, and COH, both are the oxide capacitance, both are the electrical parameters, and it would remains constant for a given fabrication technology. So generally MOSFETs are manufactured by considering some fabrication technology, means in the terms of nanometers. Nowadays it is possible to manufacture the 10 nanometer MOSFETs also. So this would be for any particular, whatever the MOSFET you have chosen or purchase, either it is made up under the 10 nanometer or 65 nanometer. So this particular technology MOSFET, your oxide capacitance and carrier mobility would remains same or constant. So what are the variable terms here? The variable terms are geometrical parameters, that is W by L ratio. Width to length ratio is very important parameter that would be responsible for deciding the current voltage characteristics of the MOSFET circuit, because it would be not remains constant, it would be changing according to the requirement. So you can also define the conduction parameter by the another formula, that is capital Kn is equal to small kn dash upon 2 W by L. So what is the small kn dash? It is called the process conduction parameter. Okay, it is called the process conduction parameter. Now what is the process conduction parameter is here? It is mu and COX, means it is a combination of electrical parameter actually. And so as we see in the previous slide that electrical parameter would remains constant for a particular fabrication technology, so small k dash would also remains constant here. Only the variable is W by L ratio. So on the basis of this discussion, now you have to solve this numerical. So everyone note this numerical. Note down this numerical. So what is the question is there, or either take the screenshot of this question. Consider an n-channel MOSFET with the following parameters: VTN is equal to 0.4 volt, W width is equal to 20 micrometer, length is equal to 0.8 micrometer, mu n is equal to 650 centimeter square per volt second, and TOX is equal to 200 angstrom. I think all of you are familiar with the term angstrom. Then epsilon naught x is equal to, as per the standard formula, 3.9 into 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 14 farad per centimeter. So you have to determine the current when the transistor is biased in the saturation. So here the two value of current would be generated. For first is for VGS is equal to 0.8 volt, and second when the VGS is equal to 1.6 volt. So you have to find out the two current, two IDs. Okay. So note down this question and solve it. So in the next lecture, we have to discuss the solution of this. Now, we have to see the circuit symbols and conventions. It is also very much important in the terms of MOSFET. As we have already discussed in the first lecture, the types of MOSFET, there is a N-channel MOSFET, P-channel MOSFET. Another, the further subdivision is the enhancement type and depletion type. So this is the symbols that we are learning, the N-channel enhancement type MOSFET. In our syllabus, we would only discuss only this type, N-channel enhancement mode MOSFET. So this is the three symbols I have shown in the slide. The first one is the conventional circuit symbol, and we will be going to use this symbol only in our further chapters, or in the question also, in the exam also, we have to draw only this symbol in the electronic circuit subject. Okay, so in this, what is the detailing of this particular symbol? So as per the structure of the MOSFET, we have seen that gate, there are how many terminals? There are the four basic terminals are there: drain, source, gate, and body. So as per the structure, if you have to remember the construction of the MOSFET, gate is isolated from the substrate. So that's why the difference of is kept here. In the symbol, you have to see there is no physical connection between the gate terminal and the rest of the MOSFET terminal, because gate is isolated with the means of silicon dioxide. Now, the another terminal is drain. So generally, we have to always show the drain at the top, and the source would be opposite of the drain. So at the bottommost terminal is the source. In between middle terminal, it is nothing but the substrate, or you can say the body of the MOSFET. Again, if you have to see this drain, body, and substrate are separated with each other. There is no connection between these three. Why? Because this is a enhancement type MOSFET, and in the enhancement type MOSFET, the channel would be remains absent till you have not applied the gate to source voltage greater than the threshold voltage. Okay, so this particular line, three lines, is indication of channel. That channel is absent now. When you apply the external voltage, gate to source and drain to source, then and then only this channel would be formed, and it would be come into the conduction mode. That's why it is called the enhancement mode transistor, and this is the main reason why these lines are brick. And the arrow of this particular body terminal is indicating the N channel. It is inside this particular channel set. Second symbol is again that would be also used in lots of the book, but mostly it is used in the digital electronics. It is arrow would be indicated. Arrow is coming out and going towards the source. It is called the N channel MOSFET. And third one is also used in the digital electronics. Now the time is very less, so we stop here. Thank you all of you for attending the lecture. I would be share you the video on my YouTube channel Electronic Circuits today. I will save the link. Just go through the video and revise your whatever the point we have discussed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.